out to UConn. They played with great urgency, great precision. Solomon Ball, hit a big shot every time that we were able to make a run and threaten to come back. He was huge. People will probably summarize the game and say UConn shot 60% from the field, 63% from three, significantly better from the foul line. We shot 40% from the field, 32% from three, and poorly from the foul line, which is all true. But there's a lot of stuff underneath that, on both ends of the floor where we need to be better. UConn deserves a ton of credit. But obviously our focus is on ourselves and what we can improve. But I thought they had better poise and, mental toughness than us tonight, particularly in the first half when they built a 22-point lead.
Well, Shaka, how concerned are you with these slow starts that have happened in recent games?
More concerned with, again, the details underneath, why. You want to get off to a great start every game. So, but absolutely, I think even in our 9 wins in Big East play, I think we've been down at halftime in 5 or 6 of them. So it's not the recipe for, being the best you can be. But it's easy to look at statistics and say, okay, slow starts, we're concerned about that. Yeah. Why? And how do you make it better? How do you improve it? We have to have an understanding that, beating Marquette is a quality win and that there's a level of desperation that the other team has when they play us. And that's whether it's UConn, Butler, Villanova, who do we play before that? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. And we talk about that a lot, but I think acceptance only works 100%. So if you 75% accept that, that ain't going to work. And, the reality is tonight, I think when I called that first time out, what was the score? 14-4. That you don't want to spot teams to lead. Now, again, UConn deserves a ton of credit. Jalen Stewart, the way he shot the ball early, but we have to make them miss. That's our job.
The missed free throws and the cold shooting in the first half, Chase seemed to think it was the atmosphere or maybe being too amped up for the crowd. What are those underlying things that you were talking about?
I have to do a better job as a sports psychologist going into National Marquette Day, because if you look back, all 4 years that I've been here, we've had some of that early in games. Now we've been able to steady the ship and win the last 3 years, not against UConn. That was different opponents. But, yeah, we have to understand that, you can't have it both ways. You're at a place where there's 18,129 people that come to your game. There's a level of excitement and passion for, the game and the team and the opportunity to win all week long. I thought our guys did a nice job focusing on Butler on Tuesday. That was not an easy feat because what everyone's saying to them starting on Monday was, can't wait till Saturday. So I thought we checked that box, but I got to do a better job helping them, just relax. We're out there. Cam's missing free throws. We go 10 for 20 from the foul line in the first half. That wasn't the only, issue we had, but that's significant. You get 20 free throws, you got to go make, 16 of them, 15 of them.
You forced about 24 turnovers, but they also shot what they shot. How did you feel overall about the way the defense performed?
Well, it was kind of the good side was, we forced 25 turnovers. We got our hands on the ball. We did a good job at times pressuring the ball. We were able to create 21 more field goal attempts than UConn. If you told me before the game you're going to have 21 more field goal attempts than them, you're going to have more free throw attempts than them, pretty good chance to win. However, we time and time again lost dangerous guys in their team. Now, UConn's offense is designed to make you do that. They do that to a lot of teams. But we can be much better. We need to be much better. Our poise, our discipline in certain situations, it just wasn't good enough. And that, comes back to me and us as coaches. We got to help put our guys in the positions to do that.
You brought in Caden Hamilton with a minute and a half left in the first half, and then midway through the second half, right when Terrace Reed checked in, was the strategy to counter his physicality? Somewhat.
I mean, it's multi-layered. I thought Caden was terrific. I thought if you take his minutes, and if he would have played 40 minutes, which obviously he can't, but it gives us a better chance to win the game. It's ironic, but when he went in, they went to more traditional pick and roll coverage, which ended up being good for us. I don't know if they felt that way or not, but their game plan was extreme when everyone else was in, which was switch all the pick and rolls and almost deny off the ball, no help. And there were times where we attacked it well. We missed way too many layups, but there were times where we were stagnant, dribbling around, not doing enough. But Caden, I thought this was one of Caden's better games, and I really appreciate the fact that every day he comes to practice with the mentality to grow and improve. Our young guys have been terrific in practice lately. That doesn't always equate to the games, especially when you're playing high-quality opponents. But those guys are coming. I mean, they remind me of Stevie and Cam and Jop and Oso my first year when they were on the second team in practice. So they got to keep improving.
You mentioned ball off the top. Why was he able to be such a momentum killer for you guys today?
I mean, he made 7 out of 9 threes. We didn't do a good enough job making him miss. Let's see. It was different things on different plays. The big one he made in the corner by their bench relatively late in the game. I think we had cut it to 6 maybe or 7. Jaden Ross cut back door, got the ball. Sometimes when that happens, you get pulled in, but we were able to kind of get back to him and get matched up with him. We did not, as we say, go home to solo ball. You don't go home. He's open out there. He's going to make you pay. Our guys expend so much energy, and I probably need to sub a couple of these guys more because what happens sometimes when you get to a level of fatigue is it can affect just the sharpness of doing the right thing at the right time in a moment like that. He also, there was a lot of times with ball where we were there, but we weren't there. We're there, we're close enough to him, but you got to make him miss. He's an elite shooter, and he demonstrated that tonight, but it's not like tonight's the first time. He's had games all year where he shot the ball really well.
Shaka, looking ahead to Tuesday and St. John's at MSG, the role that they're on, now 10-1 in the Big East. How does a game like this prepare you for what you're about to face with them and the style that Rick plays?
Well, I think there's probably some similarities in terms of what we'll see defensively. I think we'll probably see a lot of switching like we saw tonight. Prepares you because this was a Big East war. We get in these Big East wars, and there's a level of experience that you gain from wins, and there's experience that you gain from losses. It's not exactly the same, but sometimes, unfortunately, you need both. Our guys have put us in an awesome position through 11 games in the league, but there's no question that going up there and playing St. John's, they're playing probably better than anyone in our conference, and they've got a heck of a coach. They've got a heck of a roster of players. So it'd be a great challenge for us, great opportunity for us.
BG had 0 points and 0 rebounds. Is this a bad matchup for him?
I wouldn't call it a bad matchup. I think that when teams play defensively the way that that they are in a lot of these games on him, then, starting with me, but we as a team have to create other opportunities for him because they're just not going to put 2 on the ball and leave him open. And that's usually where he does most of his damage. However, this is not the first game where he hasn't got a lot of shots or hasn't scored much. And his job is to focus on, as we say, the other 98% of the game, which is helping the team on the defensive end, which I thought at times tonight he did, and then rebounding the basketball, being a conduit of our offense. We love Ben. He's our guy. He's made major progress. His growth has been terrific. But this is, in a way, it's good because adversity reveals the necessity to grow and to improve. And that's all of us. It's not just Ben because he went 0 for 2, didn't have any rebounds, didn't score. That's everyone on our team, starting with me.